What's up everyone, it's Enjooooy's new video, and in this video I will be commenting on EBU's last statements and development of what news and what kind of practices we can expect for Eurovision 2025 according to chaos or problems or issues or whatever it was from 2024 edition. And yeah, let's talk. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Before I will start deep diving into this topic, let me ask for subscriptions, likes, becoming a member, write me in the comments below, interact, support this channel. You can buy me a coffee or you can give me a super like, up to you. I would be glad for any kind of support, of course, because this means the development of this channel goes further. Anyway, let's talk about this last statement of EBU after the investigation they managed. Of course, there are probably some details still missing, but this is how I read it before I will really start to reading it. Eurovision became a kindergarten. Yeah, it feels like we need to act with delegations, head of delegations, artists as they are like kids. Kids which don't know what to do, kids who don't know how to behave, kids who are out of control, creating this chaos. It's like, this is not the, way how to do it. No, Jan, you must go this way. No, don't put your fork in the eye. This is what actually how this all feels for me. And also it says one thing in my opinion, which it's a huge critic of head of delegations of each country. And the reason why I'm saying this is that when you read this statement, it basically says that they didn't do their job properly to manage their artists. Basically, some delegations and their artists went on the loose, and the head of delegations just couldn't manage to tell them like, hey, this is Eurovision. It's about completely different stuff. I don't know if they supported it, but definitely it also felt for me like this. But this statement basically says, hey, like, you are managers of your teams and you are responsible for also your artist's behavior. And that also says that if you are cooperating with the artists who don't respect even you, who those artists actually are. Like, why is this even possible? How television, and I see it across the industry, that some producers really, and this is for me unacceptable, are not really that respecting that they are going like this around every single contestant, every single celebrity, even though they are giving their job, right? This is like a mutual cooperation, and this is the critique inside of it. But let's walk through it, let's talk about it, because this is very, very interesting. I think it will be even more interesting, and I think if you expect that somebody will say, hey, we're sorry, we did screw it up, actually, if you just really logically go through it, you know that more delegations basically screwed up than EBU. Because even though if you don't like what some country, for example, is there, which we are now talking about, Israel, it doesn't mean you need to behave like this, This is not a chaos creation. But also this is a big critic of fans. And I will tell you what I will tell you, right? But let's read this article on EBU pages, ebu.ch. The 2024 Eurovision Song Contest reached over 160 million people across 37 public service media markets, and hundreds of millions engaged with content on our digital channels featuring the exceptional participating artists. The event now has a huge global reach as it approaches its 70th anniversary next year, blah 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 blah. What is it about? Important. Today, the EBU is announcing the conclusion of the independent review and the focus identified from the review. Following from the review, the EBU has identified 3 thematic areas to address the recommendations in the coming month to strengthen and protect next year's Eurovision Song Contest and all future events to ensure they continue to unite audiences. These are EBU governance and participation, safety and risk management, audience engagement, funds and media. Actions already taken. To ensure we do not lose momentum, a task force of senior leaders across the EBU and its membership has been appointed to oversee decision-making and implementation of changes in above areas in the coming months. This is very important. EBU, it's like a community or platform where all the other broadcasters are meeting, they have their managements, also people dedicated for those broadcasters, they need to decide what they will do. So it's not like EBU versus broadcasters. No, it's EBU are the broadcasters. So this is the thing, you know, they need to sit on the round table and discuss. And this is perfect because that put them all together. And sometimes, not just sometimes you find out when the passion is gone a little bit lower, that it was more like a passion than argumentation there. Anyway, it's like everywhere, in every company, every possible human doing. Anyway, let's move on. The independent review also found that there was a need to bolster the leadership team of the Eurovision Song Contest to ensure operational bandwidth to manage an event of this scale. We have created a new role of Eurovision Song Contest Director, which will report to the EBU, Deputy Director General and Media Director. This will streamline the Executive Supervisor's responsibilities to focus on ESC production, heads of delegations and members, and member relationship building and day-to-day production issues. The ESC Director will oversee the work of the existing executive supervisor and a new role entitled Head of ESC Brand and Commercial. So basically, and this is in my opinion like a huge thing, there will be another, like not a censor, but there will be a higher position, so high paid position, which is good because it can be my position, right? No, anyway, there will be a position of some very senior level guy who will oversee if the executive producer and the other guy who will basically be this kindergartner, this teacher, if they are doing their job properly. This is weird, right? Like more likely how I read it, that the executive supervisor, like they want to just take this communication with some other people just out of it, make it more really executive producer's role, but less zero creative, let's say, and make somebody, for example, from my ranks to be like a connector at some point for this brand, but have somebody who will oversee if they are doing a good job. What this is, I don't really understand. Like, why do you need somebody to see if they are doing a good job? I think you need to more like strengthen the team of this executive supervisor, in my opinion, who should oversee if everybody is doing a good job, in my opinion. But okay, this is how they decided. After only 6 weeks since the 2024 ESC, we are pleased to have taken these decisions swiftly to strengthen and sustain the event for the future. We are committed to ensuring that the ESC continues to go from strength to strength and that all stakeholders, which are broadcasters, not least participating broadcasters, and the millions who enjoy the event can be reassured of our best intention to maintain the success of this event that brings so much joy to millions around the world. So, if I'm not wrong, we have two new positions: the ESC director, who is like the supervisor of supervisor, and also a supervisor of head of ESC brand, which is also kind of a new role. Somebody who will be sure that all the rules and all the no KPAs, but more like the brand values are, you know, taken respectively in all its phases around Eurovision Song Contest, and especially inside, so through delegations to fan media and, you know, artists and so on. Thematic development areas: EBU governance and participation. This area will look at clarifying the decision-making responsibilities of the various EBU governing bodies as it relates to the accepted list of participants, ensuring a wide range of member opinions are heard. So basically this is like the organ where you can put your thoughts. If you're, for example, head of delegations, like, okay, we are not happy about this, and like there's somebody who will like hear it, write it down, and hopefully find a solution. The remit of the governing bodies and the responsibilities of the ESC core team, and the role of the head of delegation and responsibilities of participating artists. It basically says we need to oversee if you are doing your job properly. Like the list of, like, come on, it's not a rocket science to keep the deadlines, you know, to be on time, to deliver stuff, but also to behave somehow. It's this spirit of Eurovision Song Contest which you must also preserve in your country to dwell on it. You know, it's not like you go somewhere and just like, hey, we are here, do your work. It's like you're part of the work, but it's written down. It's not a rocket science, and this is basically said that, like, come on guys, like, you really didn't do a good job. And I think in this case lots of didn't do a good job. They somehow take this as a platform where they go, they kind of do their work, do whatever. No, it should be like one thing. Like when you become head of delegation, you're not just head of delegation of your country, but you're also a big partner of EBU, but also the partner of the other countries. This must go around. You're the leader who preserves also the spirit, but also that doesn't mean that you cannot have a thoughts or opinions. But it's bigger. That's why this is prestigious role. Anyway, safety and risk management. This area will look at improving understanding of the ESC rules across all stakeholder groups, including artists, with on focus on simplification, consolidation, and improved accessibility, strengthening the existing ESC crisis management protocols, and bolstering our security and cybersecurity provisions in light of increased needs. Which says, my translation is, okay, the education level of the artist went very down. Their respect towards authorities, towards principles, and towards spirits of something what was built here for 70 years just went lower. They don't recognize it anymore. So we need to start from the kindergarten again, and we need to write things down. I you know what I expect? I expect that every artist will receive the brochure, the little book. It will be the little book like, I don't have it in here, but I have a little daughter, just a wooden book with the pictures, and there will be like written like Peppa the Pig, it will be like written very like it's united by music. That means that everybody is hugging each other. You understand my point. This is where we get. Like, this is literally where we get that the superiors, and also including me actually, are looking at some artists like, I think they really need this. Of course, I don't expect that they will be like journalists, and dig dive the facts and so on. But there are some very basic principles, like when you go to the room, you say hello. But okay, this is where we are. This is what's happened, and this is how I think this is like how it's gonna be managed. That everybody will receive like very straightforward rules. If you go after a toilet, please wash your hands. Like this. This is where we are. It's sad, but this is where we are. This is how it really looks. And then the last one, ensuring a general audience show and broad management. This area will look at increased collaboration with fan groups, influencers, media to build broader engagement based on ESC values, and ensure that the ESC continues to be all audience show appealing to a broad prime time of all ages. So how I see it? I see it that there will be a middleman between the executive supervisor or EBU who will take this position, be more close to all the fans, the fan media. This area, which should be also fulfilled by the executive supervisor, who should come there and say like, hey guys, like, this is not Eurovision what you are creating in here this year. Just stop it. Do it outside of the arena, but when you come in here, respect what Eurovision is. This didn't happen, but okay, they created a new role. There will be somebody who will basically oversee if fan media are really respecting it and don't behave like they did this year, and maybe writing a list of fan media who respect those things, and then the one who doesn't, because I think no one wants the toxicity, no one wants conflicts, and no one wants fighting against United by Music, because this is something what happened this year. The people who are responsible for it are aware of this, and basically the only solution is, because this is one thing, hey guys, we are giving you one more chance before we will start to take this even more seriously, which means canceling a lot of accreditations and really creating a list of fan media who can approach and not approach Eurovision because they completely spit on their values. We will give you one more chance. We will have this person over here also, you can discuss, but I'm very curious if fan media can respect such a person, if they will understand its authority, or he or her or whatever authority, if this person will have the authority, and if this will come together, because I think this is the only chance now for the fan media, and very unique chance that they were given like second chance. This is a second chance. This is second chance for head of delegations. Like, okay guys, like, we need you, we need all of us together, but we need you to do your job properly, which means also managing your own artists, and your artist needs to understand what Eurovision is about and what it's not about, because if we will sanction everybody like where we are, like yellow and red cards where we are, this is like the last resort solutions, right? But this is also for fans, and I think this is a yellow card for the funds. Yellow card, which will actually cost more money than necessary. So it's rising up the costs, because such people needs to be paid, and they need to be paid also very well, because this is not an easy job if it's done properly. It's not even an easy job, because that people is confronted, and these people will be questioned. Those people will need to give some answers, and also they will need to be very enthusiastic but also empathetic towards all the groups included, because this is a serious thing, and this also said that EBU takes it seriously, that the countries are taking it seriously, but it was unnecessary. And this is how I read it, that we needed to do those steps because you didn't do your homework. We needed to do your steps because you forgot to wash your hands after the toilet. We forgot our base human principles. Yes, this is how I read it. Maybe you read it completely differently, so write me in the comments below. I'm very curious about your thoughts, about your opinions about it, and I'll discuss there in the comments below. Also, become a member to support this channel and have exclusive content like my masterclasses, which will tell you a lot about the staging principles in very huge scope and detail. And also you can give me a super like or buy me a coffee, or just, you know, watch my other videos because it's worth it. I think you will like this channel and me. So see you there. Thank you for watching. Bye.